Being that she's married to a man who is 32 years her senior, it's obvious that Karoline Leavitt isn't bothered by age gaps. But how does she feel about catching the eye of a much younger man? Who might that younger man be? None other than Barron Trump's self-proclaimed best friend, Beau Loudon. On April 30th, Loudon joined in on Leavitt's briefing for influencers, and he definitely seemed to get a bit tongue-tied. When Leavitt called on Loudon, he began by saying,
Hi, Caroline.
Loudon definitely sounded nervous, and this could have simply been a result of having all eyes on him. Yet the question he asked was focused on Leavitt.
As an 18-year-old, I can say you're definitely an inspiration to Gen Z. What has been the biggest highlight for you in these first 100 historic days?
In these curated press briefings, many of the questions put a pointedly positive spin on Donald Trump and his administration. So the sycophancy of Loudon's question certainly isn't out of the ordinary. However, it is interesting that Loudon chose to focus his question on Leavitt specifically. In Leavitt's answer to Loudon's flattering question, she noted that, like Loudon, she is a member of Gen Z, mostly.
I am Gen Z. I think I heard the term zillennial because I'm right on the cusp of millennial and Gen Z. Jack is cringing at that.
At 27 years old, Leavitt is nearly a decade older than Loudon. Yet the two are much closer in age than Leavitt and her husband, Nicholas Riccio, are, with the 32-year age difference between them. It's hard to know how this dynamic plays out in private, but it's worth noting that Leavitt has only said great things about him during interviews, such as this appearance on Megyn Kelly's show.
He's incredible. He's my greatest supporter. He's my best friend. He's my rock.
That being said, it's interesting to wonder how Leavitt feels about a much younger man showing an interest in her. If you can call being flustered and showering her with praise showing an interest. Many people would. Regardless of whether Loudon has a crush on Leavitt or just had a case of stage fright, he made it clear that he's a fan of the press secretary. He posted a photo of the two posing together on X and wrote in part, "It's such an honor to be the youngest person to ask Karoline Leavitt, the youngest press secretary in history, a question as part of the new media briefings." Comments on the post range from typical flattery to completely dunking on the 18-year-old. As far as positive comments, one person wrote, "Beau, so great seeing you and listening to your questions in the briefing. You are truly helping to lead this country to a bright future. Keep up your fantastic work." Others were much more tuned into his fashion choices than his interaction with Leavitt. As one person on X asked, "Where are your socks? Such an important place and you don't wear socks?" Another X user asked, "Did your dad leave his slippers when he went to re-up on milk? My dad can teach you how to button up a shirt if you'd like." Meanwhile, another person made a point to offer some concrete advice for his next public appearance, writing, "Wear some dark socks, button your shirt, and find a tie bow if you're truly a professional journalist, rather than the youngest person to ask a question."